of the content outline, before people should even get into a project like this, and again, the benefits is we see Google is liking the fact that you are putting people through a funnel, and you have to also back that up with the type of content that you type. I know that for our services and for our clients, we're writing 1,000, 2,000 word content on those service pages. You know, if I'm doing software for legal services, I'm writing a ton of content and actually educating them. Another very important thing is how that content is laid out, right? It needs to be very presentable, big Google fonts. And if your service is, let's say, if you're selling flowers for resorts, right? Let's say you specialize in flowers and you sell flowers for resorts. Type flowers for resorts into Google, go all the way, scroll all the way to the bottom, look at what Google is suggesting, what Google thinks is relevant, because that needs to be in your content. As content as well as H1 or H2 tags, right?
Yep.
And then go up and look at the questions. Google now gives you questions that people are asking for on that subject, and that brings us to these snippets. So what do you think is the best way to get these snippets on Google? Because you are number one on top of search results, and then your website answers displayed right away.
FAQs, you know, so you need to have FAQs. You need to answer the questions that people are searching for directly on your site, and that's the easiest way, and in my opinion, you know, the most likely way that you're going to get those snippets.
And the impressions on those snippets are crazy, because you get so many impressions, and the click-throughs are pretty good as well, especially if you're answering a technical question. We see that a lot. So I guess first you have to do a hierarchy, you have to do an outline, basically. You know, let's say your top thing is services, and then under services you have a sub-bullet of your services, and then dig deep into those services or what you're doing, so create different content sections. If you want to see an example of this, if you go to optimum7.com/custom programming with a dash, custom dash programming, we wrote down 600, 700 custom functionalities for e-commerce we have done. And it ranks really, really well, and Google values that section because it categorizes different types of functionalities, and every single functionality has its own page with a specific format, and it's laid out really, really clearly with videos, screencasts, with GIFs. So I think if somebody or if a business plans this really, really well, it's going to do wonders for your organic visibility. It's going to do wonders for your conversions, and also it will do a lot for, if you want to do any kind of paid search, they work as great landing pages. So why should anybody create landing pages for just paid search? Your landing page should be as effective as your service pages, correct?
Correct.
Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I mean, maybe just the other type of content, you know, we talked about for lead gen and how you can write, you know, individual industry pages. But then for e-commerce, you know, buying guides are extremely powerful for that structured content rather than just putting a blog post and mentioning a few products.
Correct.
You know, put a buying guide per brand.
Yes. So if and again, just an example, if I'm selling any kind of apparel, right? What I would want to do is who is going to buy this apparel? Is it for teachers? Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Is it for business people? And then if you sell all kinds of apparel, it's good for you to structure your service pages or your product pages in a manner where you guide people. The best example I always give when I do workshops at universities is I Google if you want to do this as well, I Google how to tie a tie. Very, very basic question. And there's one website that shows up, I think it's tie.com, or it's one of those websites, and their content is so structured and so organized that they dominate anything that has to do with a tie. And ties are not the only thing they sell. They just have a really, really structured content page, right? And it all starts with that. Obviously, creating that content page alone is not enough. You have to push backlinks to it. You have to get authority. You have to create engaging elements, like put somebody through a funnel. You know, put a button there that says, I don't know what I'm looking for, and ask a set of questions and have automated follow-ups, and then guide them through a funnel. And the best tool to do that, and a lot of people don't use it, it's a cheap tool, Outgrow. Use outgrow.io. It's a great tool where you can put people into a funnel and then send them to a specific landing page or a category page with a list of products. or a specific service that has conditional formatting, which is beautiful. Costs like $60, $70 a month. So most people don't do that. They don't put their users through a funnel. And with that, we'll end this week's search session. We'll talk to you guys next week.